With the Royal Rumble taking place on January 29th at the Dome at America's Center, WWE has confirmed that the Bella Twins, Lita, Michelle McCool, Kelly, Summer Rae, and Mickie James will be returning. With the pay-per-view kicking off the road to WrestleMania, there's certainly a lot to look forward to. So let's take a look at some other returns we can see at the Royal Rumble. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Ronda Rousey has not been seen in WWE since losing the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania 35. She left WWE to start a family, but in her time away, has talked down about wrestling and called it fake, angering the women's division. The Royal Rumble might be the perfect time for her to make a return to get a chance at redemption by winning it and challenging for the title that she had lost at Mania. Fightful has reported that a Ronda Rousey return has been discussed internally, to the point that it's considered a poorly kept secret and has been mentioned to talent outside the company. Goldberg has been teasing that he has one more match left on his contract. He has become one of WWE's favorite legends to bring back, as he's wrestled quite a few top names of the current generation. He has returned to WWE multiple times over the last 5 years, keeping him relevant, with new fans seeing the WCW legend on a regular basis. With the company looking for some more star power for the event, it won't be too surprising to see the Hall of Famer at one of WWE's biggest pay-per-views. John Cena's last appearance in WWE was a rather memorable one, making his return last year at Money in the Bank and going on to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. A return at the Rumble would be surprising, as he recently said he would not be at this year's WrestleMania, but it is always possible for him to make an appearance just for the Rumble. TORRIE Wilson has returned for the Royal Rumble match before, as she was a part of the first ever Women's Rumble, which saw her competing in a WWE ring for the first time in nearly a decade. TORRIE is in phenomenal shape, and appeared at last year's Rumble as well, where she was eliminated by Shayna Baszler. The WWE Hall of Famer is regarded as one of the greatest women's wrestlers and made a successful transition from managing wrestlers to becoming an in-ring competitor. Not many would have given Trish much of a chance when she initially started competing in WWE, but by the end of her career, she managed to become one of the most successful in history. She returned for the 2018 Women's Rumble and looked to be in great shape. Trish paved the way for today's WWE stars, and it wouldn't be too shocking if she came back for the Rumble this year. For Melina Perez, it was her attitude during her time with WWE that got her into hot water. She rubbed a lot of people the wrong way and wasn't the most likable person backstage. However, she was one of the most talented performers and received compliments from some of the hardest critics for her agility and her in-ring skills. She since appears to be in the WWE good books, as she made her first return back to the company at the Raw reunion in 2019. She also made an appearance at Raw Legends Night in 2021. We haven't seen her make an in-ring return for WWE, but the Royal Rumble might be the perfect place for that. With him being a color commentator after being forced to retire from in-ring competition in 2014, Fightful has reported that WWE doctors cleared Corey Graves in 2020. He was previously on WWE's no-contact list, but that is no longer the case. He was even seen winning the 24/7 title in 2020, which he of course lost right away. Being a participant at the Royal Rumble would be a great spot for him if he is looking for a one-time appearance. At a time when the likes of Lita and TRISH Stratus had taken over the women's division, Victoria quickly made an impact, winning the women's title months after her debut. Victoria is a two-time WWE Women's Champion, and after leaving she went to TNA, where she won the Knockouts belt 5 times. Victoria left WWE at a time when the Divas had taken center stage, and she understood that the company was going in a different direction. Her final WWE match saw her cut an emotional promo, where she thanked fans, and informed them she was retiring. Victoria made her surprising return to WWE last year after being away from the company for 12 years. She was eliminated by Shayna Baszler and may be looking for some revenge. Molly Holly has helped numerous stars in the business, and while she left WWE in 2005, fans fondly remember her. Molly was introduced as a member of the Holly clan, along with Crash and Bob Holly. Molly is also a two-time women's champion and won the Hardcore title, becoming one of the few women in WWE history to have held the belt. She returned at the 2018 and the 2020 Royal Rumble, so there is a possibility we may see her again. The Masterpiece did not live up to expectations during his first WWE run. Putting people in the Master Lock, Chris Masters was pushed heavily, as he found himself competing for world titles. After a couple of wellness policy violations, he was cut from the company, only for WWE to give him a second chance 2 years later. Masters languished in the lower mid-card upon his return, and was once again let go in 2011, after which he wrestled on the independents and later signed with Impact Wrestling. Since then, he has been talking up the possibility of returning to WWE, even teasing a comeback at the Rumble this year on Twitter. In the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era, Rob Van Dam was one of the most popular stars. He won the top championship, although he lost it thanks to being pulled over by the police while being in possession of illegal substances. He had a second run in WWE in 2013 and 14, but has not wrestled for the company since. With WWE looking for a fan favorite for the event, we may see the Hall of Famer. In her time in WWE, she was one half of the Funkadactyls with Naomi, dancing with Brodus Clay on a weekly basis. She was also a part of the Total Diva show. Her recent outings in AEW showed off her improvement in the ring, with the former WWE star talking to Wrestling Inc. about how she reached out to Vince McMahon recently about a comeback. I am very torn if I want to say this, but I actually reached out recently and was like, I would love to come back. And will I be back? That's to be determined. But I actually reached out to Vince McMahon himself and was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the person who's at the top. I miss being in the world of wrestling. The star even revealed that McMahon responded, which she was very happy about. Still, he didn't tell her that he would be bringing her back, and instead said he would be passing her message along to John Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis is the head of talent relations, and thus has the authority over who the company will sign. It seems unlikely that WWE will sign her, but a Royal Rumble appearance may be possible. Braun Strowman was released from the company last year and appeared in EC3's For Your Narrative. There were reports that suggested Strowman wants to return to WWE and has been eager to get back. However, Braun denied the reports. Strowman still hasn't signed with a promotion, so it's possible for him to make a shocking Royal Rumble appearance if WWE is open to having him back. Tragedy struck Paige earlier in her career as she had a career-ending neck injury. Paige was on Twitch and made it clear she wanted to wrestle and that she wanted to get clearance from doctors. She's apparently ready to begin the journey back to the ring and admitted it might take some time. With the Rumble almost here, Paige started trending on Twitter as many expressed excitement in seeing the star back in a WWE ring. She responded to fans wanting her back, saying she was thankful that fans still miss her even after 4 years away. Bayley is one of the top stars in the WWE Women's division. She was doing some of her best work with the company before she suffered an injury at the Performance Center, with her undergoing knee surgery. As she gets better, she is getting closer to returning, and many have speculated that we may see her come back at the Rumble. Asuka has been out of action since last summer. She is a former SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion and has history with Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. She may be nearing a return, and her winning the Rumble wouldn't be too surprising. She recently started trending on Twitter as fans expect her to make her comeback at the event. Ringside News reported that WWE is open to bringing in talent signed to other promotions for the Women's Royal Rumble, as Mickie James, who is signed to Impact Wrestling, is set to make an appearance at the pay-per-view. WrestleVotes reported that WWE may be open to bringing in talent from other promotions for the Men's Rumble as well, and more than one source this weekend, without me directly asking, state they believe WWE will try for an unexpected Forbidden Door entrant for the Men's Royal Rumble. Personally, I'm skeptical what happens, but I can confirm WWE is at least open to the idea, which is exciting enough. This led to tons of speculation, with fans hoping that CM Punk, Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho, and others may possibly show up. The Moxley rumors started running rampant after WWE played old Shield highlights to hype up the feud between Rollins and Reigns on SmackDown, yet rumors of Moxley returning were quickly shot down by Dave Meltzer. Cody Rhodes was another name mentioned for a potential return, as reports came out claiming the star was working in AEW without a contract. The reports of Rhodes making an appearance for WWE were also shot down, as it seems unlikely that we'll see anyone from AEW make an appearance. And these were potential returns for the Royal Rumble this year. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.